I want to bring in now former Republican Congressman Jim Nussle of Iowa, who was the director of the Office of Management and Budget during President George W. Bush's second term. So sure, Congressman Gomer can say, hey, we're not going to be the ones to shut this down, but Republicans control Congress. Republicans control the White House.
That's right.
You heard the sticking points. They are not insignificant.
No.
So how do they avoid a shutdown? Is that even possible?
First of all, see this wrinkle right here? That's from the last time I negotiated one of these. No, look, this is a freak show that happens, it seems now, every single year end, and it makes no sense. They've known this was coming for a number of years, or a number of months. The Republicans are in control of everything, so this is things that could have been negotiated between House, Senate, and the administration a long time ago.
But, Congressman, they are waiting until tomorrow to have this meeting at the White House, literally hours before things start to go into effect related to a shutdown.
Yeah, it makes no sense to do it this way. That's why all of the folks that have been promoting reforms to the process, I think, are right. Just about any of the reforms that they're suggesting would be an improvement to this.
So what are you saying to your former Republican colleagues who are still in Congress right now? What advice are you giving? What conversations are you having with them about how to get through this?
Well, right now, everybody believes they have some leverage. That's the reason this is all happening. They're holding their vote because of taxes, holding their vote because of defense spending, holding their vote because of immigration reform, holding their vote, believing that they can basically hold the government hostage and the function of the government hostage over their particular issue. And it's because of this brinksmanship that is allowed to occur as a result of the dysfunction of the budget process that makes this possible.
But how can Republicans, if in fact the government does shut down, feasibly stand up and say this is not our fault?
They can't. I mean, they're responsible. They own the Senate, they own the House, they own the administration. And it's the reason why the Democrats, by and large, aren't, worried too much about this, because they can't possibly, in my judgment, be blamed for a government shutdown. Right now, this is all on the Republicans to decide this.
So you draw on your own experience. You talked about noting your forehead wrinkles, which I think, your own experience dealing with this back in the mid-90s. Yet, nothing seems to have changed.
Yeah, and part of it is because of the polarization of the parties. There's no question about that, and the tightness of the majorities. But I think the other part is that even within the party, they believe they have leverage, in this instance, the Freedom Caucus, but also the defense hawks, the deficit hawks will all find a certain amount of leverage.
But if everybody has
holding
leverage,
their vote on
nobody
a
does.
shutdown. That's exactly right. And if they don't act as a team, their majority, I think, is in peril.
I want to quickly touch on something that Garrett brought up as it relates to Democrats in this discussion about DACA. We expect to see some demonstrations later on today here in Washington about this program that protects some 800,000 young undocumented immigrants who were brought here when they were young. Should Democrats be fighting that fight? Do you see that as productive? Do you see any movement on that moving forward?
Well, of course, they're going to fight whatever fight they believe they should at this particular point in time. They have nothing to lose, really, in my estimation, for bringing up whatever issue they believe is important. Yeah. So, of course, they're going to fight that fight, because as long as they're invited to the meeting, as long as their votes may be part of the reason this passes, they're going to have some leverage.
Quick prediction, Friday morning, 10 a.m., this show, are we going to be talking about the government shutdown?
I think there may be I think it may linger, but it's not going to. I don't think it's going to last through the weekend.
Okay. So you think it's going to shut down, but just shortly?
I think it may be a brief one, but it will be somewhat insignificant.
Is there such thing? Is it insignificant
because,
shutdown?
Look, by Monday, it may mean that a barricade may go up in front of a national park, but basically 40% of the government workforce would have to not show up without pay on Monday morning if, in fact, there was a shutdown. I don't think they go that far.
Congressman Jim Nussle, thank you very much for joining us here. I appreciate it.